Welcome back, Electrician Muscle. Pretty much a few questions came in and asked me relative to circuitry. So what the load circuitry should be for each room in your house, your living room, your dining room, your kitchen, what's required by code, what can you get away with. Obviously, if you're doing it yourself, people get away with a lot of stuff. Not necessarily gonna make it safe for you. So important is you want to remember safety. Safety is very important. If you respect electricity, it will respect you. If you disrespect it, it will let you know that you have disrespected. So the danger in this is making sure that at any opportunity you can, and I'm sure most of you can. So in the instance, I'm working in the dining room, I'll go down there and turn the breaker off for my dining room breakers, kill it. A lot of the mistakes that people make is you assume that the power is off because someone told you. Always test it for yourself. Never take anyone's word for it that the power is off. Safety is very important because as it goes, as you probably heard before, it does not only impact you, should you be attached to a circuit by fault, but you can also hurt someone, your loved ones around you that may come and try to assist you. So first instance, I'm gonna get into circuitry. So circuitry consists of loads. Lines equals source. Source is where your power coming from, okay? So your power coming from your panel, it goes up till it attaches to, in the instance, we're gonna talk about receps, we'll talk about plugs. So your power come up to the first plug. From that plug, power is transferred to the second plug, to the third plug, so on. Power oftentimes comes down. It'll go to your switch box. From your switch box, it will go to your light source, your load, which will be a load as well. It'll be your lights, whatever it is. It could be recessed lighting, it could be condensing lighting. But however, each one of these, anything that would draw electricity is considered a load. In your living room, you're only required to have 15 amps. In the living room. But it's important. We'll get to breaking that down for you because you should always have separate lighting circuits from your receptacle. By code, your dining room should be a 20 amp service. So, and also when I say that 20 amp is for all the receptacles or all the loads within that living room or that space. Okay, that space being your living room and or your dining room. Again, living room 15 amps, okay, which uses number 14 gauge wire. Dining room, always 20 amp service, number 12 wire, okay? So, in using that, so there's always been a discrepancy. Some would dare to say because anytime you use a 20 amp service, you can run anywhere from 10 to 12 receptacles on that 20 amp service. Me in particular, I do not like to go more than 8 or 9 at most on a 20 amp. On a 15 amp, you can go 8 to 10, as they would say. In your kitchen, you require, or supposed to be, don't always happen because you can be grandfathered in with old circuitry in there. So you're supposed to have two 20 amp services in there. Now, that does not include your dedicated circuits. And we'll get to dedicated in a minute, but two 20 amp circuits, both of which should be GFI control. This is a GFI, a GFCI, which is ground fault circuit interrupter. Okay, but for most of us, we call it a GFI, which is ground fault interrupter. Okay, they're the same thing. So initially what this does is it'll track any short. It's only going to activate if it's powered up, energized. So it's not energized right now, but your circuits in your kitchen should always be operated by a GFI. And just for record, by code, anytime you have water presence, operated by GFI, your receptacle. So in the instance, your kitchen's circuits should have GFI. Your bathroom should also have a 20 amp circuit that must be GFI because there's water in there. And if something by means accidents happen, water hits it, it'll pick up the arc or the fault This GFI will detect it and it'll kill the power, thus preventing you from being further harmed. Also, likewise, your garage area or your common space in the garage should have a 20 amp circuit. There's a lot of codes that go along with this. So if you want to just get some stuff working, then pretty much people do what they want to do. But in order to make yourself in compliance so that you never have problems and you're safe in doing it, you know, these little tips here so you understand what's going on. A dedicated circuit simply means that the load, the circuit comes straight from your panel or the breaker up to that particular load, be it your air conditioner for one, your microwave for two, your refrigerator just for three, and then AC units for just for four. Those should not be added on. They should have their own circuit coming directly from your electrical panel in your basement. And those is what we would call dedicated circuits. So the reason is because a lot of them draw more amps. So depending on what you have plugged up in your dining room, you go and attach a 110 air conditioner to it, you will have problems because you'll overload that circuit and it'll pop your breaker continually. And that's what our dedicated circuit is for. You have a chance of being very successful, or you pretty much will be okay. You don't have to worry about overheating, you don't have to worry about blowing breakers or anything. So in another video, we'll get to the point about lighting circuits and receptacle circuits and some of the things related to when you come in. Within 4 feet of your entrance of a door, you should be able to access or be able to turn on some type of light, some source, some light source within that room. So then this is where you'll begin to see. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate, feel free to contact me. I do not know everything. I'm not going to tell you I know everything, but I do know what I know. And what I do know, I'm willing to share with you and help you out. So, and don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. If you have a comment, please give me a comment.